This is the law for Our Lady Immaculata Penitens, a new character who seems unaligned at the moment. I will run the basics, then go over some discussion points and expand on what we're told with real world law, where it crosses over. So, welcome back to the trenches, and let's begin. It starts with Sister Loretta, who was a member of a modest order of devotees to Saint Dionysia, who was scourged and subsequently martyred by a barbarian king in the 5th century. Together, the sisters maintained a tiny hospice within the sanctuary of the Immaculate Heart in Ambarica in southern Nubia. The remote sanctuary had remained untouched by war for decades, even when the legions of Mammon ravened to the south and west after the sack of Crusade. In December, beginning 3 days after Saint Dionysius's holy day, the night showed the sullen red of settlements being put to the sword, to the torch, and thereafter each morning the smoke columns came closer. The injured and the refugees fleeing to the sanctuary grew from a trickle into a flood. Bitter, defeated soldiers, terrified peasants, dust-streaked hungry children. Each day brought more and more, and the sisters could turn no one away. As the surrounding regions emptied, stripped bare by the followers of Mammon, food, medicine and water became barely sufficient. Supplies were rationed, and the rations were cut again and again. As the bellies emptied and the sick multiplied, men became desperate, and inevitably, despite the sisters' protestations, harsh penalties were enacted upon thieves and looters, both real and imagined. Brutal discipline, devout prayer, and sheer desperation kept the sanctuary functioning. Across months of deprivation and torment, each day a dull, keening knife of despair. Finally, the legion of the 5th Golden Horn took note, and closed in with the confident certainty of a hunter checking their traps. Even cornered, the people of the sanctuary knew that surrender to the Prince of Greed's brazen demands offered no peace. Instead, they chose to resist, accepting the finality of the grave and the thin prayer of hope that someone or something would come to their aid. Laughing at such temerity, the Golden Legion laid siege in unhurried fashion while awaiting their mortal followers. Hunger would do their work, aided by the slobbering belch of mortar and cannon as they rained shells down upon their hapless prey. More days and nights of torment and sacrifice followed, with no hope in sight. All of the sisters perished, one by one, until only Sister Loretta was left, and the 9/10 of the people trapped inside the sanctuary died before the first assault. Finally, on the 7th day, strident horns sounded in the Legion camp, but it was not to unleash the long-anticipated assault. It was a call to arms. Another war host glittering on the horizon, and battle erupted in the besiegers' rear. But as the new force came closer, it became clear that they were the deathless soldiers of the Black Grail, the followers of Beelzebub. The two forces, damned and dead, struggled like giants behind an anthill, and none can say who was the victor. The sanctuary was overrun in the fighting and left in ruins. Its defenders died to a man and woman. The sick and injured were slain in their cots. No refugee escaped the trap. And the final sister, the last of her order, the one who suffered and witnessed and prayed and fought as everything she had ever known or cared about, was relentlessly ground down to dust and despair. Well, she lived after a fashion, or at least she didn't perish in the rubble. Perhaps the Grail bestowed a gift upon her, or perhaps her apotheosis was truly divine. Whatever the truth, our Sister Loretta did not die that day. Our Lady of Penitens, she rose again. As for if she was brought back, on the side of the Church, we have the examples of the Metachrist, who will bless specific people and bring them back as martyr penitents. Those people are normally trench pilgrims. Could this be another example of that? It's said of them they are warriors halfway between heaven and earth, able to fight once more and feel no pain from a bullet or a bayonet thrust. Something like that, who remain true to God, would make sense within the law. And if we look at things from the point of view of the Black Grail, within their law, she doesn't have that look to her. Her wings don't look angelic or corrupted, they look avian. But then you get that murky, toxic looking background in the image as well. She has a lot of bodies in bags, as if she wants them for some reason. Maybe a grail creation, and you have to love that scalpel-like sword. A load of them melded together. Or maybe like Baba Yaga, she could be non-aligned, where she serves her own terrible revenge against those who come in front of her. And those in the bag seem to share the wooden limbs that she has in terms of her legs. Does she revive them and bring them back with replacements for what they have lost? We can only speculate. Now onto the history. Saint Dionysia was, according to Catholic.org, a martyr. Dionysia witnessed the trial of 3 Christians. During a torture on the rack, one of them recanted and denied Christ. Dionysia rebuked him for his cowardice and was arrested. She was hurt and an angel halted their advance, and Dionysia escaped. She did not flee the area but went to the arena where Andrew and Peter, the remains of the Christians earlier, had just passed. There she demanded martyrdom beside the 2 saints, but soldiers carried her to another site where she died by the sword. Also, the Sanctuary of the Immaculate Heart could be a number of places that were dedicated to Mary, Jesus' mother, and her love for humanity. It's emphasised along with her role as a mother of the Redeemer. There are a few trench characters that I've not covered elsewhere, and I'd like to go through them here. I like to be thorough, so I'll drop a few of them in. So first, the witch burners. The witch burners are the field officers of the Inquisition. They are tasked with hunting down and punishing witches, warlocks, and heretics that cannot be brought to face justice by conventional means. On the battlefield, they have the power to channel divine retribution on those deemed to have transgressed against God, causing sinners to burst into flames with mere words of condemnation. Since none are sinless, none are safe from their words of condemnation. They have some big vibes with their real-life counterparts. In the real world, the role was a 17th century investigator charged with hunting down and obtaining evidence against supposed witches. The Trench Crusade witch burners also are armed with the gavel of justice. This is both a mark of their office and a weapon imbued with the wrath of God against those who have broken divine law. It dooms the souls of those found guilty to burn in flames for all eternity. And an underrated role within the church, the Ammo monk. The order of Mentalist monks is entrusted with the design of divinely enhanced items and the creation of the communicants, devotees who have undergone chemical communion with an infusion of the synthesized blood of a Metachrist. The Brotherhood of Blessed Munitions is one of these subsects of the Mentalist order, whose duty it is to provide the faithful with various types of ammunition treated with the chemically altered blood of the Metachrist. Such solutions are highly unstable and difficult to handle, and the secrets of their various formulae are jealously guarded. On the battlefield, the monks brave enemy fire and infernal terrors, committed to their holy task of bringing the wrath of the Lord upon the heretics. Their patron, Saint Barbara, is said to lift those who die on the battlefield to everlasting glory. In real life, Saint Barbara refused to ever give up her faith, and after her martyrdom in the 6th century, relics of Saint Barbara were taken to Constantinople. 600 years later, they were taken to Kiev by the daughter of a Byzantine emperor, Alexius Komnenos. Today, they rest at the St. Vladimir Cathedral in Kiev. And tying into the monks, and also from Catholic.org, she is now patron saint of armourers, artillerymen, architects, mathematicians, miners, and the Italian Navy. So let me know what you think to this law, and if you like this video on the Trench Crusade, you might also like this one.